everybody always talks about, oh, Ruth and Boaz. I'm gonna find my Boaz. And
Mm,
Boaz found Ruth, yes, but Ruth knew where to go. She knew where
wow.
to go to be found. A lot of times we're in the wrong place looking for the right thing. I'm not telling you where to go, but listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself. Like a lot of times we don't listen. We don't take time to really be still and just listen to that small voice that's telling you the truth that you don't want to hear because you're just trying to be out here because you see this person with this Birkin bag, you see that girl with that Chanel bag, so you want to go where she went
So that you can win.
so that you can win instead of finding true love or finding what you truly desire and recognizing that as your win.
All roads lead back to accountability. Why are you where you are looking for who you say you're looking for? Are you trying to win or are you trying to be partnered? I
Yeah.
said it on TikTok. The reason why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people is because you're emotionally unavailable. And the people were not really ready for it. I'm just like, well, like attracts like, my friend. You don't want one. They don't want one. Y'all got together so that both of you can play a game where you see who wins. How do you first recognize where your desire is and then navigate that space between your desires and the desires of a potential partner?
When you said you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people because you're emotionally unavailable, a lot of times we attract emotionally unavailable people because we're emotionally unavailable to the wrong people. Like,
Mm.
if you were emotionally available to the right person or to the right people, then you wouldn't keep attracting the wrong.
Mm.
Like, I think that's part of the accountability as well, is that there's been times in my life where somebody was treating me extremely wrong, but I kept being available to that person. And why? Why? Because I want to be sidelined down to the Dolphins game. Let's just be honest. I wanted to have that post with my jersey with that person's name on it. Let's just be honest. I knew
Word.
he was
Like there's a
trash.
different there's a whole other desire that is not being fully expressed. Right? Like I have been known to say like you don't just attract certain people, you actually attract all people. You keep the people who are where you are in some way, shape, or form. So you're emotionally unavailable. You didn't just attract emotionally unavailable people, but you actually kept dating the
Yeah.
unemotionally available because you weren't ready.
Yeah.
And it's okay that you're not ready. But I think some of us are trying to convince ourselves that we want relationships that we don't want and
Mhm.
that we want a relationship with the person that we don't actually want.
Yeah.
Every time I see the balloon pop dating game,
Oh, Lord. It's so brutal.
all right, I'm about to say some shit, and somebody finna be mad, and I want everybody to know I recognize that, and that really you're not mad at me, you don't know me well enough, so really just sit in the thing that I said and see if it's true for you, which is that when the men are lined up with their balloons in hand and a woman comes in, I think more times than not they are attracted. But if their fellow man should pop the balloon, they are performing for each other. They are trying to prove that they can get the baddest in the land. And so it's not actually about her, it's about them. It's about, do I feel like someone here is respectful? Do I feel like someone here is a man's man, someone I look up to, someone that I want to be? Did they pop the balloon? If they pop the balloon, I'm gonna pop the balloon. Which means that it was never about her. It was about impressing each other. There's a homoeroticness, like old sprinkler into the dating sphere where men are trying to impress other men. And so they won't admit that they like shorty that's fat. They won't admit that they like shorty who's dark skinned. They won't admit that
Yeah.
they won't admit that they like trans women. They won't admit it. And I'm looking like, and there's nothing wrong with who they're attracted to. There's nothing wrong with what they enjoy. There's nothing wrong with what they like. They want to like it undercover. They're saving face among other men who are very likely going to remain single because they're not committed to partnership. They're committed to other men saying that they shouldn't really have partnership.
Look at Kevin Samuels, for instance. The way men online are still mourning his death, mind you, when that man first started making his content, he was actually dragging men, but he wasn't getting the attention that he sought. He knew dragging women was gonna give him a big platform because Black female outrage sells. It sells everywhere.
Outrage, period. And a lot of people, all they do is rage bait you.
All they do. But there is a Pacific crowd that loves to watch Black women be upset. And there is a lot of money in that crowd. There
Mm.
is a lot of opportunity in that crowd, and this is why Kevin Samuels became what he became. But all the men who were in his comments supporting him, they did that because they went into the dating realm and behaved the way he told them to behave because he's the godfather. We see this all the time. I love to say there's a lot of men out here who aren't necessarily gay, but they don't like women. They do not like women. They love their homeboys though. Like they will sit here and share a hookah straw with their homeboy before they buy a woman a drink in the club. They gonna suck down that hookah with their homeboy before they offer that woman a seat in their VIP lounge, on their VIP couch. Because it's all about my homeboy, my
Mm.
mans. They gonna suck they mans down, and they will embarrass a woman. Like, what happened to the days where going out to the club for a man was about, like, getting the girl, like, "I'm gonna buy her a drink, I'm gonna get my suave mente on." Those days are
'Cause then it
gone.
feels like I'm trying to prove that I don't want or need you by
Literally.
embarrassing you, and even then, like, I hear what you're saying, and I'm like, is it that they don't like women or they're worried about losing face with men, right?
Mm.
'Cause it makes me think of, like, respectability politics. And how so many black folk behave the way they think that white people want them to behave. I'm looking like there's no behavior that you can have that is going to put you in their graces. But I mean, do go off, do go on. So it's like you are so invested in this that you will put down black people to number one to perform it yourself,
Yeah.
prove that you're the good type of black. And I'm just like, I'm wondering if they're trying to prove that they're the right type of guy.
Yeah.
That I'm a man's man, and the best way for me to prove that is to put women in their place because that's what you're supposed to do. In addition to the fact that I don't know, I think a lot of men have very low self-esteem because if you don't know who you are, you also it's very hard for you to like yourself. And
Yep.
men define themselves by not being women, which is not a definition because away is not a destination. Like
Hello.
away from women, it's that's not I'm like, where
Hello.
what are you? Right? Like, you telling me what you're not, and while it's important to know what you're not, while it's important to know where you're not, it is not helpful if you go to the ticket counter at the airport and be like, "Yes, I wanna go away."
Yeah.
They're gonna be like,
Okay.
"Where away? So
Right.
I can book you on that flight."
Right.
Away is not a destination, and I think that men and white folk are very much alike in that they define themselves by being away from blacks and
Oh, yeah.
away from women. That's part of the reason why I wanted to bring power into the conversation at all as it relates to dating. You are a dark-skinned online media personality,
Yeah.
and, it makes me wonder, well, what changes then the process of dating for you?
Like I said at the top of this conversation, I have 50,000 men right now calling me ugly because I said that, you know, a man asking you to see you without your hair, your makeup, and all that, that's a man who's just trying to strip you because number one, we already talked about the fact that why are you not approaching a woman that is
That
that
fits your
embodies
aesthetic.
everything that you desire? But number two, a lot of times when a man does say that to me, it's because he's trying to humble me and he's trying to remind me that I'm not all that according to him.
Mm.
And a lot of times it is simply because I'm a dark skinned woman. I don't have Eurocentric features. I'm very vocal. I have my own opinions. I know who I am. Like I am I'm so many contradictions, when it comes to what men feel beauty is, or and
Yeah.
not just men, because I have women in there too, saying things like, "Oh, he's just trying to make sure you're not two-toned." Well, those type of comments only come for dark-skinned women. Hyperpigmentation is not something that's exclusive to dark-skinned women, but you only hear those two-tone comments or raccoon eyes comments when it comes to dark-skinned women. And so dating, yes, for me has not been an amazing experience as a dark-skinned woman, because I was constantly reminded of, what men truly thought about me. But thank God for Jesus that I'm with someone who desires a dark-skinned woman, a man who does not hate his dark-skinned
Mhm.
mother, a man who sees value in my dark skin and wants to produce dark-skinned children and wants to make sure that those dark-skinned children understand their royalty and how much, how loved they are and how amazing they are. Like, you really have to go it all goes back again to desires. Like, as a dark-skinned woman, you better make sure that you are dating a man who desires a dark-skinned woman. If not, you will experience a lot of colorism within your relationship.
And don't I know it? As a
Okay.
therapist who focuses on colorism, I see a lot of color discordant couples bringing their Eurocentric desires into their non Eurocentric relationships. And then we have to do all this work to fix what's what.
And then they go have kids. Then they go have kids.
Oh, Lord
And then
Jesus.
those dark-skinned kids grow up with internalized colorism. And then they pass it on. Like, it's
And it
something
becomes
that
a cycle that never ends.
literally, literally.
It's such trash behavior. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's such trash behavior. And I try to make the distinction between someone is trash and the behavior is trash because I don't believe that people are trash. I believe that people do trash things. I believe they do fucked up things.
I think some people are trash. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I can appreciate that we can have different opinions and we don't have to trash each other.
Yeah, well, yeah. I do feel like when somebody keeps doing the same trash thing over and over again, okay, you just trash. I'm sorry. You just now you
Word. It's
just
a lesson not learned.
yeah, you just okay, you just want to be trash. Okay. Never mind.
So then, what advice would you give to someone that is trying to date?
Mm,
Right? Like in the here and now, with however they look, with whomever they desire, whatever type of relationship that they desire, what would you want them to know? What would you want them to get?
I'm not like a dating expert. So I don't
We still gonna take your expertise as one who was single last year and is not
Yeah.
this year.
I remember not too long before I got with Mr. Easter, I was on a talk show and I got some advice from someone else who has a big name, and they told me this it was a guy. He said, "You just need to take it down a notch, Jess. Like, I think you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're all these things, but you got to take it down a notch so that you can get a man like." And he used an example of someone in a relationship. I'm not even going to repeat it because that relationship did not end well. But
Inquiring minds want to know.
well, I'll say that that relationship ended with that woman's husband. He's detained by ICE right now. Let's just say that he's detained by ICE. But I remember him telling me, "You need to show up like her. You need to do what she did to get what she got." And later on, I told him, I said, that really was a hurtful comment. Like, I know you had good intentions, but that was a hurtful comment to me because I can't be anything other than myself. And I don't want to be anything other than myself. And I'm going to continue to show up as myself. And whoever decides to be with me, they will be with me because of who I am, not because of something I'm trying to be. And literally, probably like a month later, I got with my man. And I am me. I am totally me. And he is totally him. And we both have our awkwardness about us. We both have our quirkiness. We both have our awkward humor, dark humor, whatever. But I am myself and he is him. And I feel that a lot of people in the dating world are not showing up as who they are. Be who you are. You can only fake but for so long. It's just not feasible. It's not real to not be who you are. That mask is going to have to come down. It's going to have to come down, and you are going to have to face who you are. And it even goes back to what we were saying earlier, like, be who you are. Say what your desires are. Be honest. Be for real. Be so fucking for real so that you can really be in the relationship that's truly for you without having to fake it or without having to disarm somebody else because you're showing up as something that you truly are not. I think that that would be my advice. Like, be yourself, girl. Be yourself.
Because everybody else is taken anyway. So you can only be like, yes. Thank you for that word. And I feel like I want to add to it because I think some people have now authenticity has become a costume that people wear.
Mhm.
I'm just like, authenticity is meant to be authentic to you.
Do you
Don't be trying to wear someone else's authenticity as though it's yours because it's not authentic
not
then.
authentic.
I just
It's
and
not
I
authentic.
love that piece that you said, like, you someone giving you the advice to be something less than what you are. I had also received, similar advice,
Mm.
that, I would never get a because I am like and I was just like,
Right.
yeah, I was just like, in
Okay.
which case, I guess I'll be single. Like, it'll be alright. I'm not gonna cry
And
about
guess what? That's another part. It's okay to be single.
word. I'm looking like they act like being single is a consolation prize. I mourned when Mr. Boo Thing and I got together, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to work." I cried for the single life that I had imagined for myself,
Yeah.
right? I was so excited to live this life
Yeah.
that didn't come to pass because this man came into my life. And it changed what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
But also too, that's not you being upset. Like it's great. Like you're in this great relationship. But there is a lot of power in being single too. Like, I think people underestimate the work that it takes to be in a relationship. There's constant accountability. There's constant consideration. There's constant responsibility. There is constant communication. If you're doing your relationship correctly, there is constant work to do. And I'm not going to sit here and act like sometimes I don't miss the freedom of just getting up and not having to talk to nobody.
and that's exactly what I mean. Like I had to mourn the other way that I thought my life was gonna go
Of
and
course.
to improperly embrace the way that is going now.
Exactly. Now, am I happy with my man? Absolutely. Absolutely. But there are moments where I'm like, "Child." Sometimes when you're mourning, like, your singledom, it's not even about, like, being out in the streets, it's just about not saying nothing to nobody. It's about getting up in the morning, not having to say good morning, not having to think about somebody else's feelings. It was just me. It was just me, and if I wanted to have an attitude all day, I could. If I wanted to sleep all day, I could. If I wanted to just be grumpy all day, but now that I'm with somebody else, no, I have to be considerate of that person's feelings. I have to speak to that person. I have to show up for that person, especially if I expect them to show up for me. And so, yeah, like, while a lot of people who are single desire a relationship, make sure you understand what you're desiring. Because a lot of y'all will get that relationship and you will fumble it because you don't want to do the work. So if you don't want to do the work,
It is work.
if you don't want to do the work, stay in the streets. Trust me. Do not. waste people's time. Please stay in the streets, stay in the hookah lounge. Do us a
Look, and
favor.
people come to therapy like, "Well, I didn't think it was supposed to be this much work," and I'm just like, who is out here telling y'all lies? Who is telling you that it's not work? Who's telling you that it's supposed that they just supposed to read your mind?
No.
Why do you think that? That's where my work is. It's to remind people of the reality because you can have the desire, but you also have to have some of the work ethic to match.
Hello. Hello. Relationships, people really think it's a playground. No. Relationships are work, 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 work. It's Rihanna time, baby. You on Rihanna time.
Thank you so much. Can you tell the people where they can find you, what you have coming up?
You guys can follow me on all social media platforms at the Jessie Woo. I have my podcast, which is called Jess A Couple Things. So that's JESS, A Couple Things. And my podcast releases episodes every Thursday. And I mean, I do have a lot of things in the works, but they're in the works. So just follow me to stay in touch. That's all I'll say.
Like, if you wanna know what's going on,
Yeah.
you got to follow your girl.
Yeah.
You got to follow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time, for letting us, take a little peek into your relationship and into your thought processes. I truly appreciate it. And those of you who are watching, hang on, because you already know that some unfiltered advice is coming your way.
Mhm.
Stay tuned. You know what time it is. It is time for a little bit of unfiltered advice. This conversation with Jessie was mwah, is just the creme de la creme. And one of the things that I keep coming back to is power or partnership. As in, I think that the unfiltered advice here is that we need to sit in what is our intention in moving forward with anybody that we're trying to move forward with. Are you looking to have power? Are you looking to win? Or are you actually looking for a partner? Are you looking for someone to build with, someone to grow with? Quiet as it's kept, some of you don't even want to date. You don't want to be dating. You don't want to be married. You don't want to have kids. You think you're supposed to want. You are shoulding on yourselves. I should have kids. I should get married. I should. And some of us have not done the work to actually sit in and consider if that is what we actually want or if it is still only what people have said we should want. Dating feels like shit and you say it's nothing but trash. You say there's nothing but piss in the dating pool, but you forget you are in the dating pool, which means there's got to be more than piss in it. You're in it. If you took it as an exercise in who can you be yourself, the most yourself with, if you saw it not as a ding on your character, if someone didn't pick you, aka if you didn't win, if you saw it as more than something to do to prove your worth and your value, which quite frankly, nobody can do for you, I think that you would find who you're looking for and what you're looking for. Dating doesn't have to be ugly work. It can be beautiful work. It can be work of self-discovery. And I want you to remember that part. So my unfiltered advice is for you to sit in whether or not you want to be dating. Think about what you want, the life you envision for yourself. Sit in your imagination. Use your imagination. Make all your dreams come true. Give yourself space and stop trying to be what somebody else wanted you to be. Just be you. Y'all already know how it is. Be sure to hit us in the comments. But remember, discourse, not disrespect. Meanwhile, that has been your unfiltered advice. What other advice do you have? Be sure to add them to the comments because inquiring minds want to know. All right, y'all. Till next time. Bye.